Hey guys, hope you are doing great today. So let's begin with the session. Today we are going to talk about business rules. So this is our fourth session. And we are going to cover business rule in ServiceNow. So let's see how we can navigate to the business rule in the ServiceNow tool. So you see in system definitions, you can check this business rules and you will see like when I say out of the box, there are around 3K plus business rules, right? So all these business rules are available out of the box. I see it's the same because we haven't made any changes yet. So let's see what is business rule first. So let's check in the ServiceNow docs again. So ServiceNow docs is the best source which we can refer for any documentation because it's from the vendor side. So you see what is a business? A business rule is a server side scripting. So, and that runs when a record is displayed, inserted, updated, deleted, when a table is queried. So basically, see, when we submit a form, we have filled a form and we are going to submit it. Once we click on the submit button, the data is sent to the server, or you can say server and database as well. So now before it's saved in the database, we can modify with that data, or we can perform some actions for the other table or for the same table, like that. So even before that also, there are some options to like play with the data on business rule. So when I say display, so suppose I have opened a form and it is just a form is displayed to us, right? So if we want to execute some code on that, so that can also be done through business rule before going to the server side, right? And inserted, suppose that insert has happened, or before inserting it into the database. For both we can do before and after. Update as well, like before updating the data in the table or after updating that record in that table, right? And for deleted as well. And queried is like we have a table, and before we are going to query the data, we can filter out like what we want to query from the database. Suppose we only want to query the active records. So we can put that filter in database itself, like for specific group of user, we want to show particular assignment group data. So I can just put any role related to the group or group name. So I can show if the group is this. Now it show some, I can build the query in business rule, like should be member of group this, then only will be able to see those group data, like that. Okay, so these things can be achieved by the business rule. Although we have multiple options, like we have client script and UI actions. So basically we need to decide that what should be the best approach to deal with each use case. So you have to choose these approaches smartly. You should be knowing that which scenario is best for using client script, UI actions, or business rules. So you will learn it by the experience only. So more use cases you study, more use cases you try. So that comes with that, with the experience, that what is the best approach to do it. So let me show you. This is just a basic one. So if you want to see how business rule works, so then we have Next, documentation. So here all the types and how it works, everything has been even displayed by the chart as well. So even there are some cases we should avoid, that is also mentioned here. Prevent recursive business rules. So yeah, this is very important. So we will discuss that what we should not do in the business rule, which is not a best practice, right? So let's see the first, we see the type. We have some time-based business rule when it should run, like we have before insert, before update, right? This is submit the form, but before the action has taken on the record in the database, right? Before insert happen in the database, we want to do something we want to do after we have inserted that data in the table. Async is something which will run in the background, that is asynchronous. So the job goes to the scheduler and it is placed there in the scheduler and um, just run. The scheduler will run that job. So basically what happens, it does not wait for the immediately does not process. So if we have few things in scheduler in pipeline, so it will process asynchronously in the background, it will not stop all the operations. So yeah, asynchronous is option when suppose you don't want to wait system for the response immediately. For an example, if I have closed an incident at the same time, I want to close all the child incidents, so I can do that process in background instead of immediately doing that process. So it will block our some IO systems. So newly created business will run during upgrades. Always remember to read this note section. So display is something like I told you, that when form you load a form and before it is presented to you, you want to run some script, like okay. So yeah, always remember to read these notes. It's very important for sure. So asynchronous do not have any previous version of record. So basically when I say previous version, let me show you one record here. I would highly recommend you to read each and every line of documentation before you just go to the implementation. Just read everything. And basically, if I say, it's very important for interviews as well. So most of the questions comes from the documentation. If you have never gone through, you just implement your stuff, you will miss few things. That's I'm telling you for personal experience. Okay, I was about to show you something. When we click on it, see we have when to run, we have insert update only. We can provide a filter condition rules. We can select, we need to select the table on which we want to run this. And here we have active. When I click on advanced, then only I can see the when to run. It's before, after, async, display, right? So if I say I'm gonna run it after, okay, let's see after what operation, do what DB operation after insert. Suppose I want to run something, let's wait for a minute. Okay, great. So after insert I want to make it run. So you see we have current and previous objects available here. So if I place async over here, still it is showing me that previous object is here, but you can see this comment null when async. So now we are using async, so it will be none. The previous object will be none. right? Because it's not immediately going to be processed, right? So previous value is not stored there because it is going to the scheduler, and scheduler is going to decide when it is going to be run in the system, right? So these small things are very important. Let's not go to the complicated things first. Let me create a PR for you. Like I want to run after inset happen. So I will be going to make it on incident table. Suppose when I'm creating an incident at the same time, I want to update something, right? Let me show you something. Yes, guys, created a scenario for you. I'm going to create a after business rule as I told you. So once the incident is, I'm not going to select any operation. Let's see if it is gonna work. If we don't select any operation, how it is gonna work, because it's not mandatory, right? So let's check the scenario. So what I have mentioned here, that I want to update a business customer table. I have selected a record specific this record in the business customer table. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna query this record, and we have a record with this SID, and we're going to update the additional information with the latest comment in the incident. The current is our incident object, and comments is these additional comments. Customer visible is the comments and the incident, and we are going to pick the latest one. So we are writing a get journal entry one because it's a journal field. Its type is journal. Okay, that's how we get the latest the topmost comment, and we are updating that in additional information that is in the business customer, this one. Okay, so let's update test by update. We are going to write it right. We are saving our record after putting it here. Okay, you can see test update is here. So if incident is updated, let's see. So what happened, we updated and we are not sure it has run because we have not selected the operation. After update, we have not selected. So let's see if our business rule has run or not. We don't see any update, right? So let's create a new incident and see if it is gonna work for new incident by default. I'm gonna select only mandatory fields, right? Test. Okay, I need to select additional comment. I need to add because it is gonna tell us that whether it is the BR is working on insertion or not. Let's see it. Great, the incident is created, and let's see our record. Unfortunately, nothing has happened. So if we don't select any operation, nothing is happening, right? Okay, let's now first select the insert operation. We have additional things opened. Are we checking the right record? Yes. So let's check the insert first. Okay. Now I'm gonna insert any incident again. Quickly, I'm going to insert it. Ting, tang, ting. Let's see. I have saved my BR. You can see I have insert here in my record business customer. So you can see the insert is here. So now its insert thing is working. So if we don't select any operation, it won't run. So after insert, once we insert, after insert happen in the database, so it is updating the comment is business customer record, be updating the latest comment and the additional information, right? Great. So let's check update as well, because it's checkbox. You can click on multiple operations. So suppose if I update any incident, test update. What will happen? You can see we have test update now. It has overwritten the last value insert, right? So that's it's working perfectly. So yeah, that's how it works. But we are missing few things. We have not added the filter condition. Now, whenever any operation happen in incident, update and insert it, this business rule is gonna work, right? So we need to specify the use case. The business rule should have specific filter conditions, rules if required, so that it only see we have even a blue line hint to also specify whether the business rule should run on insert or update. We have to specify use filter conditions to specify under which condition business should run. That is how we manage the performance of the system. It's very important. So the action, if we want to directly set some value, right? So we can just go in the actions. So basically it refer to the incident fields, right? If you want to do some actions, so we can do that. Specify field value, set values. Okay, if you want to set some message, you can click on here and you can set some message. If you want to abort action, you can also do it without any script from here in the actions. In advance, so I've left the bodies checked, so advanced is now showing the script. It is also a great option to specify a condition here, like on which condition you want to make it run. Okay, so it's very important. So likewise, try each and every option. So I think display is something new. So if you want to learn on display, let me show you some out of the box options here. Let's check business rule. We are gonna check. Okay, we want to check some display one. So let's check. What it refers. Yeah. We have this one when. So we are going to filter it with the when. When should be displayed. Great, we have many, right? So we have many by the way. Let's check if we have something on incident. It's wrong. Great. We have something. So basically, scratchpad is a variable which we use on client side when we use display. Well, let's see what is here. When is display. So for display, we are not like we are not inserting, deleting. We have delete. Okay. And for query, before a form is displayed to us, basically that is when it runs. So G scratchpad is a variable. We store our values in G scratchpad, and we store the state here and incident reason. So that is what we are gonna show to the user when the form is displayed to the user. Load incident model into scratchpad. This is a nice example. I wanted to show you the scratchpad stuff, but let me check if I can get easily that where it is being used now. I would recommend you to create same kind of display BR. For example, you can create a display BR incident. So before you are showing that incident to the user, you can show some, you can add some comments on the basis of login user, something like that. So basically, this is something. This value is something which is coming from the, like basically if you want to send some server side value on from display, right? You can use this. For example, I want to send some user data to the form side, right? Users company and all. So if I have other option I have, I can use the client script, but I can do it with the display as well, right? And with the query part, like if I say before query is about like before we query from the database, if we want to add some filters, like I told you, like you want to add only active ones or no. So like if I show you on your box some query ones, is query, right? Query is true, right? Yeah, you have a lot of site approval query. Let's see what it says. Some says approval table, right? And before we are querying that table, we have edit site. A role should have approval underscore admin, and the session should be interactive session. It should be active session. And then we are adding sysID is it's a dynamic one. So it's a JavaScript code. We have used some script include over here. So, and again, add a or condition to it. So we are building a query on the current object, right? Current dot add query, we have added this, and now dot add or condition. Now we are adding approval should be now if that is true from server side. And now we have query restricted to the user list. We can print this kind of logs and check if whether it is executed or not. These kind of things are done below it is inactive, but yeah, that is how only do the the data which is satisfied, which will satisfy these things, is gonna fetched from the database and displayed to the user. That will be displayed to the user on the basis of ACLs too. So first BR is executed, then ACL is executed for each and every record. That's how it is done. So yeah, practice as much as possible for you, because without practicing it won't be clear to you. Thank you so much for listening and keep watching. Happy learning. Bye bye.